Good morning from yammybtv. Wishing you all well today, sending loads of love and hoping your days previously have been the best they possibly could have been. And sorry I haven't been around for a few days, but I'm still on vacation, travelling up and down. But I've been enjoying it mentally, to be honest. And today I've been thinking and remembering during that life that I speak so freely about, there were times when crimes were committed in front of young children. Many of us over the years might not have wanted to actively participate in it or go in thinking at the time that we were going to be faced with young children watching, but many times they come and it's when you least expect it. And I try to take the moral high ground on this story, and I did whatever way I tried to do it, it still ended up the same way, and that is that a young child saw my behaviour. And we know in life that, you know, mum hits dad, dad hits mum, it's a crime, we witness it. You know, we can think long and hard into later years by some of the stuff that we witnessed from childhood. And I'm beginning to see now out here a lot of remembering things come from, you know, bad things of young kids seeing come from us as well. So yep, I'm going to take it back. It was the year 99, I think. It was Christmas, and let me give you some little background information to this one here, because I was in Loudham Grange, right? So it's Christmas, so you know, in Christmas is a busy time for visits, you know, because family members, you know, you can't share it with your kids, wife, etc., and you get visits and you have to get them booked in because you won't get another chance to book them beforehand because of the bank holiday period and whatnot. So it was such a time as well. So everybody was there. You know, I can remember from Manchester to Birmingham to Liverpool to the Kennedys. Yeah, Jimmy Murray, Marcus Darkers, Danny Drummond, Elroy, Nottingham, Samo, John Stafford, Manchester, Ollie Brady, Showers, Russell McVicker. Everybody was, and Anthony Clare. Yeah, there's a name that I've forgotten. From Sheffield. A traveller, gypsy, could have a proper row as well. Anthony, me and him was pretty close as well. And Wiggy from Leeds, and Chivy as well, yeah, from Leeds as well, my Yorkshire crew down there as well. That was the season when Leeds were really doing well with speed and all that lot up front. With O'Leary, yeah, it was the O'Leary Babes time where we nearly won the championship. So anyway, it was the same old story. Visits were booked. People had their contraband up until the Christmas period. But lo and behold, before the visit that I went on, which would have been Christmas Eve, I'd already been borrowing, asking, yeah, don't worry, leave it to me. I've got a visit coming. I'll make sure you're all right. Yeah, but Yammy, you know, you've got to, we need this. Otherwise, I ain't going to have nothing over the Christmas to blah, blah, blah. Driving everyone mad as usual. But don't worry, rely on me. I'll be getting a parcel and I'll be doing it. And I'll be giving you it all back, basically. So my visit was booked, right? So it was a relative, right? Someone bloodline to me, and somebody else's mate. So what I did is I got my family, a member of my family, booked a visit, didn't know the guy that was coming with her, right? So basically I joined forces with that maneuver there, so that she wouldn't know that he was bringing me drugs. You see it? So I'm only expecting them to. So I was going to try and be clever, send her up to go and get the canteen and then take the parcel, or do it that way. So we know as well as that prison, when you're expecting visits, especially when you've got to go and get something, can leave you a bit disjointed for days, because you're waiting for the day, you're hoping that you get the right table outside, you know, or when you go on the visit, you know, the easy ones, which makes it a bit more easier for you to get what you're after, or depending on who's on that day, you know, you try to feel out the atmosphere when you're on your way. So basically over the lunch period, I'm sitting there waiting. I had a few of the boys at the door. Yeah, are you going out there? Yeah, I mean, sure, like da, 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 da. So the build up to it all, you know, you get paranoid sometimes as well when you use the phone and you talk, or you're letting too many people know. Now you're wondering if you're going to get down there and everybody's going to be lying in wait for you, kind of thing. So anyway, the doors opened and we're walking to the visit. So I'm looking at this officer and I'm saying, yeah, what is it busy out there? Is it going to be a busy day? And who else is out? Is Mr. Blah Blah out? Or we talk about the football and walking, but all the time I'm walking with him trying to feel him out to see if he knows something that I don't know, like they're all going to be waiting for me when we get to the other end. I'm a bit nervy. So in my mind, all I've got is my family member and this geezer going to get the parcel. It won't matter if it goes off out there. I'll push it where the sun don't shine. They won't get it, and I'll probably have to lose time for it. If I'm hoping for a good run that day, then I'm going to get it done. I'll be on a decent table, push it up there, if you get what I mean, and I won't get caught or anything. So it's only a couple of ways really that it can go out there when you go, but you're at risk every time you go out there. Bang. So we're walking. I'm getting a rub down. I'm sure this geezer could feel my heart pumping as I was taking the search. So now I'm thinking, because I haven't been on no visits out here, so only got the descriptions of the other inmates who are telling me where the best table is, where not to be. Lo and behold, as soon as I walk through into the visits area, they've put me at number 1 table. So the desk is there where they go and get the VO slips to go and collect other inmates. Oh, I'm fuming straight away. And then it got worse, because as I saw my family member coming in, I didn't know the geezer, but obviously I had a description of him, and one of my relatives, young children, 5 or 6 about that time, comes running over, and straight away the game has changed for me. So what I was expecting to go out there and do with what was in front of me, now we've got a young child there on the visit. You remember the old days when in Wandsworth, a lot of you sometimes remember that, the old where some used to use the babies with the nappies underneath to hide the parcels. I know, it's very, very, do you remember those days in Wandsworth, and Mr. Baker used to be there with the dark glasses and then lift up the baby and he used to get all the parcels, do you remember? So it's not the first time that young children have been used during the manoeuvres of crime, even though this day I try to skate around it. You know, it's something that's been going on for years on end. I know, it's amazing, isn't it, what we prepared to do to get what we want. So I'm fuming, right? So not only am I at number 1 table, I'm now seeing we're calling my nephew, all right? So we don't get confused. So yeah, he's there, and now I've got to rethink the whole program. Little hugs and kiss. So I'm tense at the table, but now I keep looking to the side, but now I'm pissed off, because I know now that I'm going to have to wait. I won't be able to do it on the visiting table now, because the young child said, this is what I'm thinking. So what I'm thinking, old pea brain me, let's wait until the end of the visit, so when they're all leaving, I can quickly go for it and blah, 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 and put it away, and then the excitement can occur right at the end. But either way, I weren't going to leave the parcel. That's for definite. So, yep, the visit's commencing. We've got so right, yeah, so we're working out now. I'm talking to him. She's gone up again. I'll get me another bar of chocolate. I'm talking to my nephew, playing around, and I'm saying to the geezer, the best thing to do is put it in that old chestnut, the crisp packet. You remember the old crisp packet that's been there for years and years, that old thing. Yeah, when you go in and visit, yeah, drop it in the crisp packet, and then just have a little fiddle about it and put it there, or go like that kind of thing. So we're discussing it, but again, it's very, very tense. So I'm thinking, so when the visits come to it, like after an hour or so, I'm looking and I'm thinking, are they on the crisp packet? So I'm looking like that. I know it's in the crisp packet. My nephew's there, the geezer's there. I'm thinking, right, how yammy. What if they come over and they grab the packet? You can't let them grab it, because everybody's going to get arrested for bringing it in. So you've got to get it so that you protect the visitors as well, so that you take what you've got to take. You've got to take your own punishment and consequences. Never mind getting people to bring stuff up there. The best thing to do is not get things brought up at all, in reality. But we're talking about that life and what was happening on that day. So, yep, the crisp packet. So it's visits now. It's ceasefire. No, that's what happened when I was speaking to my nephew. So I'm all like nervous and things. I've nearly forgot the main bit out of this story, bloody hell. And he's asking me, he's saying to me, Uncle, what is that cage around the perimeter of and the keys and hats and blah blah blah. So off the top of my head, not God knows why I said this. I said that what are you doing here? He's asking me. So I, rather than say prison and that I'll be missing because I was a baddie, I said no, it's my work. I said I'm a zookeeper. That was the first thing that came into my head. And he said zookeeper. So he says all these are animals, and you're looking after them, kind of thing. Yes, my boy. Yes. This bit was going to come back to haunt me though. So yeah, we had that little discussion of playing, but all the time I was fidgety. I couldn't do much. I didn't want to, mate. It was like it was half reluctantly, taking the moral high ground, and then on the other hand saying, well, I don't care. We'll leave it right to the end. So the end comes now, and he's staring at me. Have a little hugged my family member, and I'm watching the crisp packet all the time. So they're walking out of the visits area now to the door. So the canteen's over there. You got to walk out that way. Their backs are to me. So I've decided then and there, because everybody's standing up, there's a lot of movement. I've gone for the crisp bag, and gone like that, taken out the contraband and pushed it up there. So pushed it up where the sun don't shine. So, and they're all running over to me, and then they're running over to me, and I'm thinking, all right, Yammy. If they put their hand on you and all hell breaks loose, but private's different from HMP them days, because they won't really rush you violently like that, like the way normal prisons were. So I had already had an inkling of that. So, but I was thinking they would have to rush me because it's on the visiting table and they can see quite clearly what. But no, they didn't rush me. So I was kind of like laughing. I got it, but all the noise was surrounding me. So that then. They've got one arm, and then we're walking, but I'm all right because I know I got it put away. But then I looked at my nephew, and he looked at me, and he looked like bemused, but he was trying to cut. Oh, it was very, very sticky. So I'm glad there wasn't no fight in there that day. So I've gone back through the search area. I've got it anyway, but he witnessed it. And they're not going to get in no trouble because I've got it put away. So I'm coming out. We're coming out straight to the block, right? So now I'm down the block. They're saying, look, you're going to hand it over. I said, no, I'm not going to hand it over. So then, but I've had to wait a couple of days now. Was it Christmas Day they let me up, or Boxing Day? I can't remember. But they let me up. I think a couple of the boys up there got me back up. To get back on the wing, like pleading with the manager of the wing, don't leave him down there for Christmas, it's not right, he's the only one down there, blah blah blah. So they were getting me back up so that I could share out the parcel, which I ended up doing anyway. But the moral of this story and the sadness of it all is that in the week after that, my nephew was in school and he drew a picture of a zoo and a keeper and animals and cages, and then right at the end, having your uncle being walked away like 4 or 5 handed with one arm each to walk into the search area to witness that as well. He drew the picture, and the teacher came up to him and pulled his mum. Oh God, I got a bollock in there. She pulled his mum and said, look, he's drawing a picture of a zoo, and he's saying his uncle's there and he works there and blah blah blah. But the teacher's saying to mum, but this looks like a prison to me, and they're prison officers and blah 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 blah, like that. Very, very serious, isn't it? What they see and what they believe, from what you tell them. But guilty of sin. And that played a part. That played on my mind for quite some time, because it didn't. You don't really think, that they're gonna be drawing pictures and doing it to the absolute T, to how I told him what I was doing there, and he got it spot on. But no, the teacher told mum that it's not a nice thing for him to witness that kind of stuff. So I got a bollocking for that as well. But yep, I'll be back up in a minute. Sorry, I've been babbling a little bit, but I needed to get this story out today, because a lot of times during that life, things are happening in front of young children, and it's not right. So we know that, don't we? But I'll be up in a little while. Sending loads of love.